and welcome to this brand new show. If you have any queries on what to study or where, well, Mindspace is going to try and get you the answers. If you're young, have any new innovations or ideas that you think the world should know about, well, you can always touch base with us. Remember, you can tweet us or even write to us, and we're going to try and do our best to get you featured on our program. Let's turn to our big focus, luxury brand management. If you believe that marketing is straight up your streets and luxury are your thing, well, look no further. This just may be the option for you.
Spectacular cars, elegant timepieces, sumptuous fragrances, and much more. The industry has a lot more extensions than the number of human senses that can register the feeling of luxury. The diverse nature of possibilities within the luxury sphere is not the only reason that can tempt you to ponder a career with a luxury brand. The fact is that perhaps one of the very few industries which is recession-proof makes this an excellent career choice.
Future is the brands are going to grow at an annual growth rate of 25 to 30%. The professional manpower which is trained in luxury brands is going to be in huge demand. We are constantly getting requirement from the brands like Burberry, Chanel, Gucci for professionally trained professionals. And currently the graduates are not available in the market. So I see a great and huge demand in the future.
To paraphrase a popular saying in the luxury brand industry, all luxury brands look forward not to just procure clients, but to build lasting relationships. A luxury brand manager is someone who adds the otherwise missing human touch to the strong emotive stories that all brands tell through their products.
It's very, very important for a luxury brand manager to keep his ears and eyes on the market, because that is absolutely crucial, especially in a market like ours, which is emerging, where things keep changing, where there is no particular trend, where brands suddenly become talk of the town and are super hot, and suddenly there's no reason for them not to be in the news anymore or people not wanting to buy it. So luxury brand manager is actually almost equivalent to a CEO of a company, where for that particular brand you're looking at all aspects.
Aesthetics, communication skills, and a savor for sumptuous. And of course, things that are not just money but only big money can buy can assure you a financially enviable career in the luxury industry. In its nascent state, it is worth 800 crore rupees in India. And since we are the nation with the world's fastest growing population of millionaires, the opportunities are many. However, there are certain key skills apart from a UG or preferably a PG degree in luxury brand management which anyone working in the luxury industry must have.
Luxury is all about communications and presentation. So whether you are on the shop floor or you are at the back end where you are looking after a certain vertical of the business, I think presentation is super important. People perceive you to be part of the industry if you look the part. In terms of communications as well, you know, how you talk to people and how you project yourself is very important.
Fueled by an increase in the personal disposable income in India by 15 to 21% between 2008 and 2011, India was the most dynamic luxury market from 2008 to 2013 and is expected to grow by a further 86% in constant value terms by 2018. Followed by China at 72%, Brazil 31% and Russia at 28%. As per a report by the Euromonitor International, they say all that shines is not gold, but if you do manage to break into the industry, chances are you'd often find yourself basking amidst diamonds. In New Delhi with camera person Sanjay Das and Abhishek Singh, Kriti Mathur for Ndtv.
And someone who knows luxury brand management better than many of us is Karan Sachdeva. He's a luxury brand manager. Karan, thanks very much for coming in to speak to us. Now, many would say luxury brand management is all about glamour. It's so glamorous and all of that. But I'm sure that there's a lot of blood, sweat and tears that goes into it.
Absolutely. You know, when the grass is always greener on the other side, as they say. But yes, it's not a cakewalk, trust me. You know, when it comes to a luxury brand, you have to be much more serious when marketing a premium brand, because you know, all the marketing activities, when you talk about maybe the 4 P's of marketing, it goes completely different from what you know, use in a customer based or a more consumer friendly product.
So you're an MBA.
Yeah. So
Has that really helped you in this? There's a lot of sort of.
well,
How do you believe your education has contributed?
well, I'll tell you very honestly, you know, when I did my MBA, it was a mix of all the, you know, when you talk about marketing or you talk about HR, you talk about all the other things, because mine was a very general MBA. So when it comes to learning all those things, you know, when you start your own venture, you have to have all those expertise, you know,
Right.
putting into it. When you start a new venture, you know, it's a startup. So, you know, half of the things you have to do on your own. So yes, it certainly does help a lot. And when understanding the marketing, how it really works, obviously the, you know, the practical part stays completely separate from the theory part, but then obviously it makes a base for you.
Right.
Yes.
And of course, learning on the job is always
Absolutely.
critical.
No doubt
I would
about that.
imagine
No doubt
anyway.
about that.
Right. So what has been the big challenge? You mentioned that your family is into something completely different, and
Yes.
perhaps expected that you would follow that
Yes,
route too.
yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, so you know, we are into the business of automobiles since last 40 years now. So you know, my father, you know, I mean, they are actually considered as the pioneers of, you know, a two-wheeler, three-wheeler replacement market. So we have our own brand name also through which we sell, but you know, that's like a very you know, industrial concept, and you know, all those manufacturing, the machines and the
And
you
you're
know,
turning up your nose, so you always knew that wasn't really for you.
it wasn't like that. It wasn't
Yeah.
like that. Trust me. You know, I mean, I worked there for a couple of years. I'm still working there. I'm
see.
taking care of the sales and the marketing in the company. But you know, marketing being my strong side,
Right.
and luxury was always a passion. You know, since
Right.
you know, I was growing
Right.
up, and you know, the circle I had, everything. You know, it all affects.
Right.
So yes, I mean, it was a challenge for me. But then yes, you know, when you have to do something, you
Yeah.
actually
And the
achieve
family
it.
obviously, at the end of the day,
Yeah,
accepted what you had to say.
absolutely. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, your parents do support you.
Yeah. That's always good to know, and of course critical. So what's been the one big learning experience that you've had in the last couple of years? Because I'm looking at all the work that you've done, and you work with some of those top luxury brands, as it was.
Yes.
So what's the one big learning experience, the one thing that perhaps they didn't teach you in management school?
You know, in management school, we were taught the basic marketing strategies, you know, what you would apply to a market, you know, the 4 P's, as I said, you know, the product, the price. But, you know, when it comes to a luxury brand, all these things are absolutely the opposite. You know, you just cannot follow those strategies, what you've learned in schools or colleges, you know, what they teach you, all those books teach you, but you actually cannot follow that in a luxury management. It's a completely different ball game altogether. So, I mean, if I, you know, elaborate a bit, you know, I mean, a BMW model, okay? So, a BMW, you would see, has its distinctive design, which is there in every model, no matter what production year. But similarly, if you see a Lexus, they keep changing, like,
Right.
you know, every year.
Right. So there's no one
that's why-
size fits all, really.
That's
Sort
why
of
it's a premium brand.
Every brand
Yes.
is
And-
free to experiment and try things out.
But that's not true in luxury brands.
That's not true, huh?
Yes.
The one big hit and the one miss.
The one big hit, as I told you, you know, there's this luxury footwear brand which we're working with, and yes, I mean, it was just like a random pitching for me. I just went, met the owner, and yeah, it took me a long time to actually, you know, set a meeting with him. But finally, when we had it, and trust me, you know, he was the person who never ever went ahead with branding. He was like,
see.
I know my sales,
I
and the
see.
products are being used by, you know, international celebrities like
I
Paris
see.
Hilton.
I see.
You were used by
That
Lady
must have been
Gaga.
a big account to get.
It is,
and-
it is, no doubt
Yeah.
about that. But yes, you know, I mean, because I understand luxury, you know,
Yeah.
I keep reading a lot of articles, I keep reading about it. So yes,
And
you
that I
know,
would imagine is important, right? To keep
It is,
yourself
it is.
updated and keep reading,
Absolutely,
see what's happening
absolutely.
globally, because you know this is a world where those that imagine, especially those who use these luxury goods, or even those who are aspire to it, are very sort of in tune with what the trends are, what's happening in the West.
you have to keep yourself updated, you know. I mean, when it comes to luxury brands, they just, I mean, the brands just won't take anything or everything.
Right. And the
It-
one quick miss.
The one quick miss was one of the airports, you know,
Right.
we were trying to do, but yes, there were a lot of big companies involved in the
Right.
pitching. So yeah,
Right.
I think that was
Well, I'm
one
sure that
big
was
miss.
all a learning experience.
Yes, absolutely,
Nonetheless.
no doubt about that.
Karan, thanks
It
very
is.
much for joining us and sharing your
Most
thoughts with
welcome.
us. Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much. Right, so if you believe you want to do what so many young luxury brand managers like Karan are doing, who we just spoke to, well, this is the place where you're going to find all those answers. Our expert Usha Albuquerque with us in the studio. Thanks very much, Usha, for coming in. Up first, is an MBA sort of quite critical? Does it add to your skill sets if this is what you're looking at luxury brand
I
management?
would say yes. In fact, luxury brand management is really an extension of retail management and brand management. So where you're looking at a different category of customers and this purchase of premium goods and services. So really, I would say ideally you should do it at a post-grad level with either a PG diploma in luxury brand management or an MBA.
Right.
So where you specialize in identifying who the customers are, the brand, work on the brand, business strategies, product development, all of that at an MBA level.
At an MBA level, right. So do keep that in mind. Well, we've got some email questions today. The first one from Saurabh Gupta. Saurabh says, I'm interested in pursuing luxury brand management as my master's degree. I have an undergrad degree in marketing from the US. I want to understand what will be the scope of this degree in an Indian market.
I think that's very important because now luxury brands are coming into India. They say there are already 140,000 crore-patis in the country, and they estimate that it's going up at 20% a year.
Wow. Okay.
This is huge market coming up, and this is how the European and the Western markets determine it. So many of these big brands are coming into the country, and where they need people is to identify the Indian market in terms of an Indian base of the knowledge. What is luxury to the Indian, per customer with
context,
highly disposable income? What does luxury mean to them? How to attract those kind of customers? How to create a demand which really doesn't exist? You
have to create really niche,
create a need for something you don't really need. So
that's true. That would be quite a trick, I would imagine.
So that is what really you're doing through luxury brand management. So if you have a background, and as Saurabh, I would say it's good to have done a background in marketing. So you already have that. Pick up a few years of experience working in this, then do an MBA in luxury brand management. That would be an ideal profile to move into this sector.
Well, Dhwani has another question. Go ahead, Dhwani.
I want to specialize in the accessories sector. Do I need to study more or I need more work experience?
Experience and more experience is really ideal. I'm not saying discounting study, but I think you need to be very aware of why you're studying and what you want to study. So until you've identified the sector in which you want to work in, and that only comes through experience really. So because there are many, like there was this a young girl I know who came in, she was working in sales and marketing with a big designer name, and she came in and she said, my career is sort of not going anywhere. I'm okay, I'm doing this and that, what should I do? And then at that time we had suggested, why don't you try, because these were these luxury brands coming in. And she was only an undergraduate. She hadn't really even done an MBA or anything. But she went into this luxury brand and she started at the bottom, really just learning the ropes, and her marketing experience working with designers and high-end customers helped. And now I believe she's actually handling one particular very high-value brand and doing extremely well. So it was just the experience that really mattered.
That's always good to know.
So these are things that, and then you can always top it up with an MBA at a later stage,
which you can do at any stage. At your own pace,
absolutely.
Well, one last question from Vinaika. Go ahead, Vinaika.
I'm doing luxury brand management at the UG level, and the question that I had to ask was, is there any other avenue that I could get into after doing this course except just being a luxury brand manager?
Luxury brand management itself is a very specialized area. So the way you can look at it, you can either be a product development manager or somebody who works on brand building. You're working on more the strategy and the strategizing, or you could look at specialized areas. You can specialize in, say, jewelry and accessories brands, or in cars and technical goods, or in high-end resort or holiday vacation or real estate. So you can make a specialization.
High-end things on offer that perhaps you can identify.
So you can specialize in those particular areas, or work with companies that are doing luxury brand management, or even the label itself. So each one of these has a particular profile, and you can then see having done luxury brand management, where do I really want to fit in
right.
In terms of the kind of work I would like to do and the clientele I would like to handle.
Right. This is again, of course, something that seems to have lots of options within it. Once you sort of study the options and know where you believe you're the best fit.
Now, if you look at it, what is luxury itself? Luxury has changed.
Yes.
At one time, just having a fridge and a car was luxury.
And now they're necessities.
Yes, now they're necessities. Right. And you're looking at, you could have designer chocolates or designer pets and, there's no end to it.
The sky's the limit, really.
Luxury really means it's a matter of perception. And we need to understand the perception of the Indian consumer. What does luxury mean to him? How can that be translated from what is available in the market and provided to him in a manner in which he really values it?
Right.
And that I think is what luxury management is. And I would say to anybody wanting to get into, anyone can go in if you have strong marketing skills and are looking at working and extremely hard. And I would say with many young people, they're always looking at, experience, how well will I do? If you get in now, when the market is just blossoming, I would say, well, in another couple of years,
you grow with the industry,
grow with the industry, and you could do extremely well.
Right.
And really, this is the way to go.
Right, this is the way to go. Well, keep that thought in mind. Let us know if that's the route that you took in. How did for you? Thanks very much for coming into the studio. We're slipping into a quick break now. Coming after that, tailor-made political merchandise in poll season. How to IIM students cracked it.